I'm going to be revealing a lot of things you don't know about these patterns you are seeing on your screen right now. There are rules guiding this pattern. So for you to get it correctly, there are things you need to know about them. And I have discovered that a lot of people don't know about these rules, especially the beginners. So the patterns are called T-strap patterns or design. And for you to get them correctly, you need to know those things I'm about to share with you in this video. Let's go over to our whiteboard and get a lot of things sorted out. So if this strap here is too long, you're going to have this puff up here at this point. That is when somebody wears it. You see this puff up here. That is between A and B. You see it here. So instead of this strap to relax, you're going to have it puffing up at this point. Then if it is too short, number one thing is that it is going to pull the pattern forward. So instead of the pattern to be here, it will pull it downwards, making it to be too short. That's from E to D. It becomes too short, and then leaving a hole here. So instead of this part to lap on the instep, it will create a hole at this point. There's a gap. You see there will be a gap between the pattern and the instep of the person or the foot that will wear that footwear. So there's no how you're going to force the pattern to lap properly on the instep. So that is the gap you are seeing here, because the pattern itself is too short at this point at the instep. From the instep to the toe gap, it is too short. So the C is the gap it created. So this is where F is where the pattern is supposed to be at, but because it is too short, you have pulled it out from where it is supposed to be on the instep. Now it has pulled the pattern away from its position, causing it to have this gap here. So that is our diagram 2 when it is too short. This one it is when it is too long. So on our third diagram, which is this one, if you get the length from G to H correctly, the pattern should be able to lap on the instep properly, and then you should be able to have a very straight outline at this point. When the customer wears the footwear, you're going to have the pattern relax from the instep down to the toe gap here from G to H. So if you miss the measurements, if you don't get them correctly, those are the kind of outcomes you are going to have. And for you to avoid those kind of outcomes, I'm going to be sharing with you the standard measurement which you are going to use for both male and female. So the total length for the male or the male sizes is 4.5 inch or 4.5 inch. They are the same thing, so don't be confused. 4.5 inch or 4.5 inch for all the male sizes. Then all the female sizes is the length should be 4 inch for all the female sizes. This is for male sizes. So this is your leather pattern. This is your leather pattern. So I want you to look closely, because if you don't get this, you won't be able to get the measurement. So if it is for male, Remember, it is 4.5 inch or 4.5 inch. They are the same thing. Remember, I told you they are the same. 4.5 inch and 4.5 inch, they are the same. So where you should be measuring from is from here down to this place. This is your pipe or toe guard. You can decide to stitch here, you know what I mean, your toe guard or your pipe. So from this point where the pipe ended here, that is where you are going to be measuring your 4.5 inch. So it is precisely from here, this point here, down to this point here. Understand? From here down to this point, that is where you're going to be measuring your 4.5 inch for male. Understand? This part will go in between the toe down to under the insole. For female, it is still the same thing. You measure from this point down to this point. That is 4 inch for female. That is from here down to this point. This point here. Remember, this is your pipe or toe guard. So don't make that mistake. From here down to this point, that is where you are going to measure. The best way to do it is after crafting your pattern like this. You take your tape and then measure your, if it is for female, you measure your 4 inch. Then if it is for male, you measure your 4.5. So let's say we measure 4.5 for male. So you tick on your pattern, you tick where the measurement ended here, then before you fix your pipe. This is your pipe. Then if you are not going to use pipe, before you stitch, some people prefer to fold this part then stitch it together. So whichever way, just to know that it is from here down to wherever you are going to use either pipe or what other technique that you prefer. Wait, we are not done yet. There's another important thing that you need to know. I've almost finished recording this video and I remembered that I have to add this particular one, because without it you're going to still have a lot of challenges in getting the pattern correctly. So back to our whiteboard. Another important thing is this: there is a place, a proper place where your pattern is supposed to end at this point on the last. If it is incorrect, if you don't place it correctly, that is your pattern, you're going to have either something like this or like this. So if you watch closely, you see that this pattern is not properly placed. Instead of the strap to relax this way, it is relaxing the opposite. You understand? So it becomes a default pattern, and this one goes two backwards, which is also default. So from point C to D, you see there's a lot of distance from point C to D, which is not supposed. If you watch closely, you see that there's a lot of gap here, which is not supposed. So it pushed the pattern too forward at this point. And if you look here at point A and point B, you find out that the pattern is too backwards. so it is not supposed to be like that. So right now let's go over and know the right position and the measurement where your pattern is supposed to fall at. Your pattern is supposed to fall at 3.5 inch. That is from here, the counter, the heel side, towards this place. You measure 3.5 inch. That is for males. Then if it is for females, you measure 3 inch. Females. So that is where your pattern is supposed to stop at this part. So any pattern you're going to last will start from here. So no matter how big or tiny your pattern is, assuming your pattern is as tiny as this, so it has to start from here. If it is bigger than this, also it has to start from here. So like that, it moves forward, not backwards. From here, it moves forward. So if you are using a strap that is bigger than this one too, it has to move front. That is from here to here. If you have any question, feel free to drop it in the comment section. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get updates as soon as our new video drops. Because there's another video that I'm going to be releasing that is linked to this one, but this time around it is going to involve both flip-flop and the likes of them. So thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Have a nice day.